जय जय राम, 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 जय जय राम।
शब्द में कितना सुख है, राम में रम कर देखो। एक शब्द में कितना सुख है, राम में रम कर देखो। सब देखोगे अंतर मन में, राम को क्षण भर देखो। सब में राम ही राम समाए।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति। We had studied how absence of desire leads to spiritual growth or complete happiness, infinite happiness. Now, the problem is that people think that this is some kind of like esoteric thing, very nice, those great souls, they don't have desires and all this sort of stuff. We don't see its direct relevance to our lives because, as a matter of fact, we all have desires, and there is no way that many of our desires are simply going away. So, we don't see it as something of practical relevance. So, what we are studying now is that this is not simply a spiritual truth. This is something that is applicable to every aspect of our life. So, last time we did how it's applicable to our success. The more the desires, the less the success. If a person wants to be Wimbledon champion, wants to go to the International Space Station, wants to spend his time traveling, all sorts of things, what is this man going to achieve in this world? So, when desires reduce, you're focused on one particular thing, whatever it be, then you're going to achieve that thing. Not only that, if your mind is riddled by the desire for even that particular thing, the mind gets agitated and the effectiveness of the action comes down. So, when your action is not effective, when your action itself is not correct, how on earth are you going to get success out of it? So, what we did last time was about how when the mind gets agitated, the intellect cannot think. When the intellect cannot think, the body cannot function. And when you cannot function, you are no achiever. And that's what we've done up to this point. Today, we are going to start talking about how desires deplete our health as well. So, success is gone at the physical level, success is gone, health is also gone. Many people feel health is gone because you're chasing success. Actually, no. Health is gone because you're being riddled by desire. So we'll do that. Anybody has any question up to this point, or are we good? Good. So then let's continue. Desires deplete health. Good health requires nutrition, water, sleep, exercise, and calmness. Very, very simple formula it is. If you have to be healthy, what do you need? You need proper nutrition, you need proper water, you need proper sleep, you need proper exercise, and your mind needs to be calm. It's not very complicated. And yet, it often poses a challenge. Desire will not let us eat the right food. Desire will not even allow the time to eat. You know, how many people eat in the car? How many people eat while walking? This is not the way a human being is supposed to eat. Even a cow will sit down to eat. They're like, how can you walk and eat? Desires will not even allow time to eat. You know, and desires prevent you from enjoying your food also. Because mind is so preoccupied, you can't enjoy what you're eating. With uncontrolled desires, discipline or any form of scheduling goes out of the window. So you're so caught up in work, you cannot maintain your meal times. There's no schedule possible when one is caught up in desires. Water is forgotten. We have so many urgent things to do. How many people I hear them and they seem quite proud of it, saying that, oh, I forgot to drink water. What do you mean you forgot to drink water? You have to drink it. Exercise is a joke. Oh, I don't like exercise. What do you mean you don't like it? Rest or sleep is stigmatized. People think they're being lazy because they're resting. Even if we do put our heads on the pillow, the desires gurgle up, reminding us of so many things. And if you do decide to sleep, then you can't sleep. So one day we wake up with lifestyle ailments. Even though they are called so, we will not remedy our lifestyle, but are happy to pop pills. Nobody goes to remedying the lifestyle. We are happy to blame our genes. Oh, desire, how many things will you steal before we realize that you are a thief? We don't seem to realize that calling something urgent is a lifestyle ailment. If in your life there is anything urgent, that's a lifestyle ailment. Because a thing can become urgent only because you have been indisciplined. Otherwise, how does anything become urgent? Swami Parthasarthi, the world famous Vedantin, never looked at a paper if his aides told him it was urgent. He always maintained, if you want to get a heart attack, go right ahead. But you cannot make me get one. But this is how, all these things happen. Urgent, urgent. Urgent means he will not look at it. Urgent only signifies no planning, no discipline, in fact, no thinking. Yet urgent is not a bad word for us. The last day to pay the bill, the last day to submit a project, last minute exam studies, not being prepared has become a way of life. How many of us are prepared for anything we undertake? Even if we start exercising, we will not be prepared for it. Then we're not prepared for anything. A job is best done when it is given, not when it is due. This is my father-in-law used to say this. You do a job when you know it has to be done, not when it's supposed to be submitted. That stress we cause ourselves is wreaking havoc on our health is well documented. I mean, this is so much research that all the stress is causing ill health. But where is the stress generating from? All these things we're doing. But what about people who are concerned about their health and do take care of it? The desire for physical well being becomes another stress point and often leads to extremes of behavior. Life seems to revolve around the body instead of the body being a means to an end. The great Shankaracharya says health is a barrier to spiritual growth. You look it up, he says that one of the impediments to spiritual growth is good health, he says. Which you know for a fact is not true, right? Because we are trying to maintain our health so that we attain spiritual growth. But when he says that, what does he mean? He's referring to the obsession with it. For we all know that we in a healthy mind, in a healthy body, mens sana in corporo sano, as said by the Roman poet Juvenal centuries ago. Healthy mind and healthy body is supposed to be a very famous saying. So, desires take our health away. Simple, no? And when you start thinking about it, it's all self evident. In how many ways? Even if you want to be healthy, you will not be healthy. And even if you don't want to be healthy, you'll still not be healthy. In how many ways it's taking our health away? So, very important for us to realize that the advice that has been given to us by the spiritual masters is not merely for spiritual growth. Therefore, in Vedanta, as you have often heard, there is no division between the material and the spiritual. There is a material path and there is a spiritual path. This is not the way it is. What they talk about is there's a right path and a wrong path. The right path will give you both material and spiritual well being. And the wrong path will give you either neither or only material well being. But well being in the sense you get money, but you won't get peace of mind. Or you get money, but you lose your health. Yeah, some compromised life you will have. Okay, so clear about this portion is clear. So first we did how desires prevent our success. Then we studied how desires prevent health. Both of these are pertaining to the body. Body in the sense physical things. You're successful in the world and health in the body. Yes, Mahesh?
While this is a very useful and accepted advice or observation that having desires and keep doing living a healthy lifestyle is something that will help you in your later life. But there are many people, there are anecdotal evidence, or you take Donald Trump or Warren Buffett, and they haven't really, they eat all sorts of junk food and but they are living to a very long and they're living a quite alert life in the 90s, 80s. And there are many cases of people, not truly taking care of themselves, and the opposite, the people who take care of themselves sort of. So is this like something to do with karma, or is there is there a basis of why this peculiar phenomenon is seen?
Firstly, I don't know whether you will call certain people in their 80s, even if they be presidents, whether they're very alert, but we let that go by. But you seem to have focused a lot on just 1/5 of what is required for health, which is food. So you remember we did all the things required. You need food, you need water, you need rest, you need exercise, you need what's the
Calm mind.
calm mind,
Calmness.
right? You need to be stress free. Now, if you look at somebody like Warren Buffett, I mean, the story goes, I don't know whether this is true, but this is reported that all he does is eats, what is this, burgers and stuff, right? And even if he eats only burgers, please note how much does he eat of it? It is not just that you're eating healthy food, because different bodies, different things are healthy. The quantum is another very big thing in being disciplined about food. Suppose you love healthy food, but you're eating 1 kilo of carrots in the day. I don't know whether that is going to be useful for you. So that, that moderation in food, like, and all of that, there's so many factors. And so many means once you start going into it, broadly speaking, these are these five factors which will keep us more or less okay. And then, of course, lifestyle things like you say urgent, urgent, urgent. Do you notice how relaxed Warren Buffett looks? I mean, does he give you the sense of anything urgent? In fact, he's one of the people who gives very good advice. Sit on cash. We have a pressure on us. Let me put all the money in so that I get a lot of money back. No, there are many times where you just do nothing. So maybe, Mahesh, you're looking at it only from the perspective of healthy and unhealthy food. But the other factors may be better for them, for all we know. We don't know.
Any cases of healthy people dying early?
See, there is some part of our life which is out of our control. Why is it out of our control? Because of things that we have done in the past. But whether you accept that or you don't accept that, the fact is that in every human's life, there are some things which are out of our control. Okay, but we have to control what is controllable so that we will improve our situation. For instance, somebody can be perfect in terms of his health. He's eaten well, he slept well, he's exercised well, he's done it all, he's got a calm mind, but he got knocked down in a freak accident. Now that you cannot say is his doing. But even then, imagine if he has taken care of his health and he got knocked down in a freak accident. He will still be benefited by the fact that he has been doing that. Like in COVID, those who had comorbidities, they had a worse time, right? So if you are healthy and you go into surgery for whatever reason, you are still better off than if you were unhealthy and you go into surgery. So there will be things that are outside our area of control. Vedanta explains it as past actions. But we need not go there. Because what we can control, if we control, even what is not controlled will be made smoother for us, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
This. Momita. Also, how do we believe what they say or others say they eat? At one time, actresses, they said they ate anything, but good genes kept them slim. Yes, we don't have full data, that is correct. And of course, some people do have better genes and all that. So whatever is out of our control, basically, is out of our control. Now, whatever genes we have, we have. We start from this point. But if you live bad lifestyles, then you start activating those genes also. Because sometimes you'll see between two brothers or people of the family, some of them have activated the gene and some haven't. So yes, this is another fact that Mamita has given us, that we need not believe everything that we read in the papers. We don't know what they really did. Yes, Joyce?
I have a question about the desire. For instance, sometimes a desire is for a loved person to be well. It's not doesn't concern us directly. For example, I'm thinking of a mother who has a very ill child and who wants, of course, her utmost desire is for that child to recover or be well. But it's not necessarily something in her control. And it is affecting probably her health and her well-being and making her miserable. So how can we consider this kind of situation? Because if it's a desire that is connected to our own doing or thinking, we may be able to control it. But when it concerns someone else, and what can we do about it?
In this example or generally?
I mean, I just gave this example. I thought of it, but perhaps we can apply it to a more general situation.
Yes, definitely. We are all the time, whoever we have a emotional relationship with, we always have desires for them. So a woman with an alcoholic husband wishes that he doesn't drink. A woman with a husband with an average kind of job wishes that he had a above average kind of job. A child who is studying well, the mother wishes he comes first. A child who's failing, the mother wishes that he studies. So, with reference to our loved ones, we constantly have desires. But these desires are our desires. If we don't control them, we will get two effects. One is we will irritate the hell out of the other person, and two is we will lose control on the other person. That is what happens, right? And thirdly, is you won't even know what's the right thing to be done in that situation. If the mother gets carried away with this ailment that the child has and doesn't take it sort of in her stride, she will not benefit the child. She will make the situation worse. I'll tell you one situation that, I mean, it's a true situation, actually happened. I don't know if you're familiar with this, with the grinding stone. Have you ever seen a grinding stone? Okay, so in
No.
India, sometimes when they make chutneys and pastes and all, they don't put it in the mixer. They have a grinding stone. It's like a big stone. And it's an extremely heavy thing. So I mean, nobody uses it nowadays, but I'm telling you a story of 40 years ago. So there's this grinding stone that they use, and they sort of make that paste by hand. Maybe at the university ground we'll start doing that. It's supposed to be a more tasty, more healthy way. But so much I don't know who will grind, but we'll tell Deepraj to come and grind for us. And Bharat and Deepraj can go and grind so much for us. Oh, now we get electric ones. Okay. So this is grinding stone, very heavy. So one lady, she was doing that, and unfortunately, that grinding stone slipped from her hand and it fell on her foot. And obviously, I mean, it's a heavy stone, so it was all gory and blood everywhere. Horrible. And she's screaming because she's in pain. So there's another lady in the house. She came running to see what the problem was. She saw the grinding stone, she saw the lady, she saw the blood, and she fainted. I mean, and
Yes.
like this lady with the problem has now this one to deal with as well. This is how we behave. So now third person has to come and take care of these two. So when you get carried away with the desire, I mean, of course, it's great that she can identify, I feel very bad for the other lady. All that is wonderful. But if it's not within your control, you're not benefiting anybody. You become part of the problem. So a mother who's not able to keep her head on her shoulders, she will be in for torture herself. She will not be of benefit to the child. I
So in
remember.
this sense, her desire will be a hindrance to her own well-being as well as to her child's well-being. So she needs to control her own desire, basically. To all right, yes, it makes sense. Thank you.
Alok Dwivedi, Vairagya comes into the picture. Yeah, Vairagya, true. but that's just a word. What it's referring to is the fact that you can keep your head in all circumstances. You know that famous poem, if you can keep your head while all around you are losing theirs and blaming it upon you. So it is Vairagya, but Vairagya, nowadays people, I mean, not nowadays, there's a belief that Vairagya is only like a sannyasi and, उसने सब छोड़ छाड़ दिया है, that it is a daily, everyday sort of attitude to hold in our lives is an important thing to understand. So I don't know. This is your first class, is it? Yeah, okay. So I don't know whether you're using Vairagya in the sense of a daily, everyday behavior or in the sense of how normally people talk about it, which is, oh, these great sons have Vairagya. So that's why I'm just, explaining that a bit further. Yes. So how we would describe it is your desire is not allowing your intellect. Your desire is not such that your intellect has gotten switched off. So you may have a desire, you may not have a desire, but the intellect has to govern it. And only then can it be beneficial to yourself, to others, anything. Jai Shri. Okay. Yeah. When we say the gross cannot affect the subtle, does it still apply when we are fully identified with the gross? Yes, it still applies. Why not? You may be identified with anything, but the fact is not changing. For instance, you see a rope as a snake. You're fully identified with that snake, but the rope has not changed. Your misunderstanding has not affected the rope. So
But
your identification doesn't count.
but then my response to it is affected
Yes.
in reality because I see it as a snake. So I suffer the consequences. So in that sense, because of my identification with the gross,
Yeah, you
there
will.
is an impact.
Yeah, there will be, but there is no real impact.
Right, but the gross doesn't affect the subtle in reality only for the realized person.
No, why?
Because they see the rope, not the snake, so they don't get affected.
Yeah, but when you say gross cannot affect the subtle means whatever is the situation with the gross has had no effect on the subtle. So you may see the snake and you may sort of suffer through it, but no real thing has actually happened. In fact, that's what the whole example is about, right? That though you see it, though you suffer it, though you people die also out of those kind of snake bites. There is no snake, but nothing to do with. I mean, the reality hasn't changed because of our perception of it. So gross cannot affect the subtle means it is not having an effect. Okay, let's put it this way. I am not well. Okay, and I'm lying in bed. Now my ability to use my intellect to study, let us say, has been compromised, right? Because I'm unwell, I can't study. So does that then prove that the gross is affecting the subtle? The word for it is avarna, covering. Okay, because it is covered doesn't mean it is affected. Suppose I put my finger in front of my iris, I can block out the sun. but the sun has not been affected by it. Right? So the covering of my eye grows doesn't affect the sun, which the reality of that sun has never gone away. So similarly, if my body is unwell and now I can't study because I can't concentrate, I'm not well, my intellect has not been affected. It is currently covered. The moment this covering goes, whatever it was, it is. There's no change in it. That's what it means when you say that the growth cannot affect the sun. Whatever it is, it is.
But in real life, how does it help me to know the principle if I'm suffering the consequences of not being able to?
No, it doesn't help in any practical sense. It answers the question that if you claim it's so, I mean, it answers another question. It's not answering a question of what am I supposed to do about it. It's answering the question that how can you even make that assertion? How can you make the assertion that the self has stayed itself or the intellect has not changed or whatever assertion you're making? So therefore, it's explaining that by saying it can't be done. Just because it's covered, just because I put my finger on my eye doesn't mean the sun is gone. It's not giving us a practical tool that we can use, except philosophically, that no matter what I think, however much I'm sobbing and weeping and crying, whatever, I am the all blissful Atman. If philosophically you get it, it's not a practical tool. A practical tool, but I mean, it's not something I'm going to use other than the understanding that whatever it appears to me, the truth stays.
Does it give us courage to contemplate that principle?
Yeah, like that. And this, I don't know, courage, but it gives you pause to think that is it possible that what I am calling suffering is actually, none of this is actually happening. That is, I remember in chapter 2, he says, the unreal has no existence and the real never ceases to be. And the truth of this is seen by the seers of truth. So it gives you pause. And, I am miserable because of this situation. And then, is it? Is it that I am miserable? Is it that it is because of this situation? It's supposed to give you that philosophical, what should I say, pause more than
Consolation.
yeah. I mean, it's for manana. It's for thinking. It's for asking a question. More than it's not practical in the sense of like something to do, but something that you think of. Is it true? Like Joyce just spoke that this mother has a child who's extremely unwell, and she is going through stress because the child is unwell. And nobody objected to this because it is a very real situation. If a child is not well, mother is very stressed, anybody understands. But the fact is that statement is wrong. You are never going to be affected because of somebody else. You are only affected because you have a desire. So it's always the desire that causes your stress, nothing else. And yet we feel it's the situation. So your mind is stressed because you have the desire. The gross situation is not making you stressed.
But the contemplation does help to, I mean, it does come up even later and it does reduce the impact of the event later.
Yes.
So, in that sense, the gross doesn't affect the subtle, does help us reduce our.
Yeah, philosophically.
In practical terms also,
If
like
you
if I hear this, that it is my thinking, it is my belief that is further spoiling the situation for my child, then I also stop suffering so much.
Yes, you stop suffering and you stop allowing the desire to lead you. In that way, yes, but that is like through comprehension, no?
Yes,
Not as a like a what should I say, practical tool of something.
but we do apply it, no? We are applying that idea, and therefore we have reduced the
Yes.
suffering.
As a philosophical inquiry, yes, of course.
Okay.
If you can remember in all cases that there is no way anything can agitate you, if you can remember this in all cases, then it just cools down the whole situation. Yes, but if you remember it.
Thank you.
Prashant, and when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. Paul Coelho. Madam, here when the author says you want something, does it mean goal, not desire? Correct, Prashant. If you make an obsession out of it, you will not get it. It's very simple. If you're able to direct it, then it becomes a goal, an aspiration, an ambition. You will get it. The reason they keep saying this, that when you want something, the universe conspires in helping you achieve it, because they are dealing with tamasic people. Tamasic in the sense that 9 out of 10 people don't know what they want. So, how much money do you want? The more the better. Okay? Who do you want to marry? A beautiful rich girl, but they're not clear what they want. So, if you want to achieve anything in this world, your step number one has to be clarity about what you want. So I've read some of that, very little, of course, but they'll tell you things like visualize it, imagine all its particular attributes. This visualization has great power. Basically, what does it mean? It simply is saying, be clear about what you want. We want everything. It's not like we want anything in particular. Ye bhi do, ye bhi do. Like as if there's a buffet offered to us, sab kuch milega. It's not like that. Never works like that. In life, if you want to achieve something, you have to be very specific about what you want. And then you may get it. Then you have a higher chance of getting it. So if you hear them and they talk, they say, imagine it in its full, whatever. They say all the details you remember, imagine. And then they will say, oh, I did all this visualization. I remember I saw all the details and then it came out exactly like that. Obviously, it will come out like the way you have planned it. How else will it come out? It's a question of time, right? So it's a goal, it's a clear goal, it's clarity about what you want is the beginning. If I ask people in class right now, you are coming to class, what do you want? I would be surprised if even 50% of this class or even 10% of this class said, I come to this class for this specific thing, whatever that thing be. Even if it is like, oh, my wife nags me too much when I come to class, she doesn't talk to me. Okay, at least it's specific. Whatever it is, it's specific. And you will achieve that much. So the more specific, I don't know what to say here. I do find it um, a, a lacuna, I would say, that what to do if you don't have a goal. Really don't know the answer to this question. Suppose someone doesn't have a goal. What is that person supposed to do? So the only thing I have thought of so far is if you don't have a goal yourself, go and associate with a person who has a goal. Other people have found answers such as values, develop better values. That also may work, maybe, but it won't handle every situation. Oh. No, Chanchal, that's not a goal. You send me private message. Okay, so I won't read it out. That's not a goal. You have to be specific. What exact thing? Which part of it? Or three parts of it? Or whatever. What is that exact thing? So, when we are specific, we will get it. Otherwise, we simply won't get it. What does it mean by manifestation that people nowadays talk about? Manifestation means fulfillment of desire. Whatever you wanted, you got. That's what manifestation. What is visualization? You are clear about what you want. Like somebody is going through a bad match. What is it you want? Oh, I want this marriage to work. What is it supposed to mean? I want this marriage to work. I want a divorce is specific. I want XYZ is specific. I want my husband to, I don't know, buy me a new house. I don't know, something specific you must have. I want it to work. What is it supposed to mean? So until you're specific, Jayashree knows what she needs to do because she has a very specific goal. She has to get 80 lakhs somehow before September. Very specific. By September, we have to get 80 lakhs. She knows what she has to do. I mean, she may not know what she has to do, but she knows what she has to eventually achieve. Now she's got even more stress. She said, oh dear, why me? I thought all of us have to do it. Yes, all of us have to do it. We have a very specific goal. By September, actually by August, we have to somehow get 80 lakhs. How are we doing this? Ram Bharose, but at least we know it's a specific thing. Why do you want it? Because those 80 lakhs will pay for the cabins. Why do you want the cabins? Because if we get the cabins, we can start the PG diploma course and apply Vedanta. Very, very, yes, you know what you're doing. It's specific. It's not like, oh, let us start something. When we have rooms, we will do something. Oh, what? Want 10 cabins. Right? It's specific. Everything is specific, specific, specific. Then there is some hope that we may obtain it. Then also hope. So, what is it? Manifestation in Vedantic terms? Fulfillment of your desire. That is manifestation. Big words. The less people understand things, the bigger the words they use. Have you ever noticed that? So, very simple. I have to get what I want. Step number one in getting what I want is
Knowing what I want.
What I want.
knowing what I want. Very good. Not generally, I want to be rich. What is rich? What is it I want? I want 80 lakhs by August. Clear. Have I given you all also stress like 80 lakhs by August? ये कैसे होने वाला है? How are we going to do this? I don't know. Momita, contemplating principles practically helps us see the truth in the statement. Yes. The imaginary part of the suffering at least reduces. Correct. Is this what purification is? Chitta Shuddhi. This is what development of the intellect is. Purification refers to becoming unselfish, becoming noble, becoming pure. That is purification. What is purity? Purity means that there is no other substance, there is no otherness. See, what is pure gold means there's only gold. If there's copper in that gold, it will become impure gold. What is pure copper? There's only copper there. If you put gold into the copper, it will become impure copper. So purity means no otherness. So it means unselfishness. So Chitta Shuddhi means how noble, unselfish you have become.
And comprehension of the principle is?
Intellect. Why are you looking at me like, what did you just pull out of my hat? Intellect, so you heard for years and years and years.
Okay, but if I'm contemplating and my suffering reduces, then what I have done is developed discrimination.
If you're yes, depends on whether you develop discrimination or you develop priority. You've got two ways of reducing suffering. Either your intellect has to develop or you have to develop purity. Now, when you develop the intellect, your purity will go up. And when you become pure, your intellect will go up. But you have to decide which is the method you're using.
Okay.
You don't have to decide, you can do both. That is why when we are at the university and all, the schedule includes it all. Like you do bhajans and all of that. For Chitta Shuddhi, in the sense, you're purifying your emotions. All these terms are flexible. So in different contexts, they're used differently. Purity has to do with reaching the self. But achievement you can do only if your intellect works.
Okay.
Jai Shri. Goal successive realization of worthy ideal. Earl Nightingale. Of a worthy ideal. Yes. Goal here is defined as a desire which is under the governance of your intellect. And it becomes your goal. Right. So let's continue. Okay, so we did success, we've done health. Now, desires mar relationships. This is a big one. The next book is going to be on this. You will be happy to know that I am struggling my way through it. It's tough, but because it's not so easy to do it when you're doing it only on relationships, because in Vedanta it's quite simple. So to write a whole book on it takes time and effort and energy. If you are willing to let your intellect deal with it, your relationship will work well. So simple it is. Desires mar relationships. Though relationships are what give humans the most satisfaction, they're also the greatest cause of stress. If you ever realize that which satisfies you the most is also what stresses you out the most. Why do they cause so much trouble, so much pain? Why are there challenges in relationships? Relationship failures can be attributed to our old friend, desire. The desire for relationship is strong. The desire for the relationship is strong. The moment you hear that, the moment you feel that, you should know you are stepping on dangerous ground. That is why the failure causes so much hurt. If you ever had a relationship that failed, it could be with a spouse, with a sibling, with a child, with a neighbor, with a friend, with a parent, how hurt that person would be. It is among the most painful loss for humans. One of the biggest, the most painful thing is the death of a person. And the second most painful thing is divorce. People seem to say, oh, we got divorced, as if it's a very, very light thing. It's second only to loss by death. The stronger the hurt, the stronger the underlying desire. There is no physical pain, yet there is so much pain. The eyes well up without our permission. It's almost like the eyes are full of tears and you never asked for those tears. Without your will and volition, the tears drop out. The desire makes it difficult to know how we are excavating the issue. It is so simple then to take the easy route of blaming the other person. Do you know there's research done on this? The Americans are great at research. What is the cause? It's like, I don't remember the actual numbers, that if you ask a couple, what is one of the main causes for this divorce, they'll say because the other person was not committed. It's a very, very interesting phenomenon. You can look up the research, all the research is there online. It's so simple to take the easy route of blaming the other person. But there is something within us at play. Think of statements such as, it's how you make me feel. There's a song like this, no? How you make me feel. A husband, wife, child, parent should do this. I can't live without you. If you love me, you should listen to me. It's not listen to, it's listen to me. How can you behave like this towards me? If you loved me, you would know how I feel. I worry about you. Since I love you, I do everything you say. I do so much for you. Do you notice that these are all statements we have made at some point in our life? All common statements. Yes. All expressing desire. All stemming from a misunderstanding of love. Go back, Mahesh. Let's go through those sentences again. It's how you make me feel. Do you realize that the moment you make this statement, you have removed every sense of control? You are making me feel in a particular way. No, you're not. It is not possible for you to do this. You do not have that power over me. It's how you make me feel. No, it's how I have decided to feel. I mean, not decided as an intellectual decision, but my feelings are mine. They are not yours. And you cannot make me feel in any way, either love or hatred. A husband, wife, child, parent should do this. In our mind, we have this notion that you're my husband, then therefore you have to do this, or you're my child, or you're my parent. How can you be my parent and behave like this? How can you be my child and behave like this? We have in our head as if there is some, some sort of list that people are given when they are born, that as a parent, this is what you will do, as a child, this is what you will do. No, everybody has to figure it out for themselves, and whatever they figure out or don't figure out is theirs, not on me, it's on them. I cannot superimpose my views. Can a teacher tell a student that as a student you have to do this? No, the student will do whatever they want. Whatever they choose. What can anyone do? I can't live without you. The moment you say this, you have put so much power into another person's hands that you are doomed, basically. If you love me, you should listen to me. What is that supposed to mean? If I love you, I will listen to you. Even if you talk nonsense, I will listen to you. You know, there's this concept in India called Dharma Patni. Well, I've all heard the term Dharma Patni. Who is a Dharma Patni? Dharma Patni, Joyce is, have you heard the term Dharma Patni? Like in India, when we say wife, we don't say wife, we say Dharma Patni. Why are we saying Dharma Patni? Because she is wedded to you as long as you stay on the path of Dharma. If you don't stay on the path of Dharma, she is not obligated to do any to follow you into nonsense. Okay, it's very clear. She's a dharma patni. That is why all marriages, I mean, almost universally, are done in places of worship. Otherwise, why are people getting married in places of worship? They should go to the restaurant and get married, or go to a party and get married, or something, Why in places of worship? In India, marriages used to be 3 days of worship, not even one day, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever. Nowadays also it's 3, 4, 5 days, but now they're at the beach and at destinations, all this sort of thing is going. So they're still taking the same amount of time. They just took God out of the equation. But I'm not suggesting that we go back to the older ways of doing it, because they were very boring. 3 days as children, we had to go and sit down and listen to all the mantras that nobody explained. What were the Panditjis going on and on? Very boring. So all the children would run away one side, some highway. The chachas used to run away at the other side, the slightly older adults. I'm not recommending we go back, but why is it that it's related to God at all? Because it's a union in the eyes of God. What is that supposed to mean? That means my allegiance is first to God, then to you. Means to religion, to nobility, to higher values. So, first that, and if my spouse steps off the path of dharma, then it is my obligation to bring her or him back to the path of dharma to the best of my ability, and not like I know I'm not taking responsibility for other people's dharma. So it was engineered like that. That I am with you in life and in death. I am with you in poverty and in richness. I am with you in what? For health and illness, poverty and wealth. I'm with you in everything. But there is one place I'm not with you, and that is in a dharma. And if you're non-dharmic, I'm not there. I'm out. Otherwise, whatever you go through, the best of times or the worst, I stand with you. That is the promise of marriage. I will be with you. But if you move off the path of dharma, then now I'm not. I'm not obligated to be with you. I may still be or not be, that is my personal decision, but I'm no longer obligated to be with you. So here is the concept of marriage as almost every culture has got. It's not just Indian culture. Everybody understood that there is something higher than the marriage. But now you see, and not now, because we are human beings, we falter. So if my child drove rashly, and because of that rash driving, 3 people died on the street, and the child comes home, will I protect this child from the consequences of his action? I feel that obviously I will. My child, I have to take care of him. Now, suppose it was my child that was mowed down by a drunken driver. What will be my view of that situation? So, depending on which side I am, my view is changing. That shows I am not aligned to dharma. I am aligned to the relationship. Now, when I'm aligned to the relationship and not to dharma, then all the problems start. Saptapadi is an important aspect of marriage. Yes, I mean, this is what we are doing together. What we are doing together is everything. Whatever it is, we are handling it together. One thing we are not doing together, not going to adharma. Give the list to Chad and ask it to write a love story. We will get Kabir Singh. Who is Kabir Singh?
A very bad movie.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, all right. Okay, then we won't give the list to Chat GPT. We don't want bad movies, we want good movies. Okay, so is that clear? Now let's go back to that list. See how we are saying things. This is not unusual things. People say this. It's a very accepted thing to say. How can you behave like this towards me? What do you mean, how can you behave like this towards me? The person will behave according to, every person behaves according to
Their gunas.
their vasanas. Very good. So what a question is this? How can you behave like this towards me? Will a rose stop giving fragrance because it is you? Will it lose its thorns because of it is you? I mean, the rose will be the rose. Like, how can you behave like this towards me means what? He or she will behave by his vasana. Then another one. If you loved me, you would know how I feel. How foolish is this? If I love you, I should know how you feel. Why? What is love? Like radio connection or something? If you want a beloved person to do something for you, isn't it simpler to say, please, can you do this for me? Instead of playing games, you will know how I feel. What do you know how I feel? You want something, you ask me, I'll tell you whether I'm capable of giving or not giving it. I worry about you. Why are you worried about me? Kim vatul kim tava nasti niyanta. Oh, distracted one, is there not an ordainer? Everyone will get the fruits of their actions. What is my worry going to do? And since I love you, I do everything you say. Really? If I love you, it means I must do everything you say? I have no personality of my own. I do what you say. I do so much for you. Who asked you to do anything? Don't do. Do so much for you. If you're keeping track, please don't do it. All these statements are indicative of intellect not functioning. So that's it for today. You have a lot to think of for this week. We'll meet again next time.
Hari Om Namaste.
Hari Om
Thank
Dhanvi.
you, Dr.